trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay. Hello, Claudette, Deronda, 504 Nola. All right. Let's get into it. DJ Big Six, We the People. All right. Juju, Judah Homecoming, Claudette, Mr. Elevation. All right, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Let's give it a thumbs up. I see Queen Amona Huey, G from the land. All right, Nessa G is in the virtual building. Z Zealot is here. All right. Byron is in the virtual building. All right. Now, with that all being said, Trisha, I see you, beloved. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, y'all know I love me some royals. So that all been said, before we get started with the nefariousness, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. And let me just tell you all, I know I said I was going to be here at 7 or 7:30, but honey, y'all, I barely made it. Do you all know I cut my thumb on some jagged glass, and it was bleeding so bad. Okay, I have it bandaged up right now. Hopefully it stopped. But if it's still bleeding by the end of this live, honey, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital and get stitches. Okay, and who feels like doing all of that? All right, hello, Portia. Okay, Vipa Cade. I hope I said that right. Okay, so hey, Desmond. All right, so Bub Gun is in the virtual building. Hello, beloved. All right, so now let's have a brief word from my sponsor. Y'all hope the queen don't pass out, honey. Okay, from a lack of blood. Hey, Laverne, Chris B is in the virtual building. All right, let's get into it. Okay, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Desmond is such a hater. Oh my goodness. Desmond, you are the worst chief moderator ever because you just be hating on the queen, talking about be careful, queen. Hope you wasn't eating Girl Scout cookies. What if I was? Desmond is always on me for what I eat, you all, because he knows I eat healthy. Okay, he knows I eat a vegan diet. So when I ever talk about eating anything sweet, he just has to get in here and tell y'all about it. Sit down somewhere, hater. Okay, dang. Can I mind my business and you mind yours? Okay, thank you, Portia. Says sorry about your finger, Queen. I hope that it's okay. I hope it is too, beloved. I think it's all right. It just hurts a little bit. It wasn't hurting at all at first, but now it's starting to hurt a little bit, but I'll be okay. All right, so shout out to C Stan. Just gifted 5 memberships to the Queen's channel. Now you all be sure to shout C Stan out. Okay, specifically you all who get those memberships. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you so much. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, now let's get into it, honey, because the U.S. is going down. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the U.S. is going down. They are not going to win this war. I already told you all earlier. Okay, they're just not going to win. And here's the thing. Now, if they were winning, why would France and UK, like I asked you all earlier, why would France and the UK be talking about coming and joining in? Okay, it's looking real bad. That's all I'm saying. And let me tell you another reason why they're going to lose. Okay, because first of all, let the record reflect that Iran has had about 20 years to prepare for this. Okay, because they've had, about 20 years at least. Okay, because we know that you know who, Mr. Netanyahu, has been talking about them since 96. Okay, every few years since 1996, I showed you all the footage, the compilation of the videos where he kept saying that they had these nuclear capabilities and this, that, and the third, and acting like they're going to do all this damage or whatnot. But I find it interesting because doesn't he have nuclear capabilities? But nobody said anything about that. So that's not a problem. But anyway, nonetheless, so I'm pretty sure that they knew that at some point it was going to come to this. But also, let's not forget the 12-day war that they had last June. Okay. And then also, they've been doing test runs. And even furthermore, for the past 8 months, they've had time to prepare. Okay. So please pay attention because they've had the drama going on with Israel. So here's the problem. This whole thing is really going to negatively impact the global economy, like I told you all. And right now, you know what's going on? Well, it has been reported just about 4 hours ago, I do believe, that Iran, they're actually striking the GCC countries. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're striking the GCC countries. So let me tell you why that's a problem. And these are the Gulf Cooperation Council. Okay, for anyone that doesn't know. But see, here's the problem with that because the first thing is they're striking these countries, and these are, they're going after their most significant infrastructure. Okay. And then pretty soon they're likely going to go after the water supply. And if that happens, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. And if that happens, guess what? They'll be without water for they'll probably run out of water in less than a month. Okay. And then that's going to be really bad because then they won't be able to, supply the things to the U.S. that they have been doing because, mind you, these Gulf states really impact the U.S. economy. Okay. For one, with AI, these big tech companies, and here's the thing. Now, first of all, they've already said that an Amazon data center was hit over in the UAE. Okay, this has already been reported. And that's interesting because big tech companies have been looking at that area for a data center, okay, where they feel like they would get they could have like this data center investment hub with an abundant supply of cheap energy, okay? But now they're going to have to find somewhere else to try to have that project because it's not going to happen 9 times out of 10. Okay. So with that all being said, it looks like the Iranians are going after Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, okay, Emirates. And here's the thing. I have a sneaking suspicion that Saudi Arabia is helping the US because Trump has likely been bribed by them. Wasn't it Qatar, first of all, that gave Trump that private jet? And wasn't it, in fact, Saudi Arabia that I just reported to you all about 2 weeks ago, if not less, that they gave Jared Kushner? Remember? I told y'all Trump's son-in-law. They invested like $2 billion, okay, of equity in Jared Kushner's project. All right. So Trump is getting financial and political support from them. Okay. And Iran's going after them. I want y'all to pay attention. But yeah, that's right. This won't end well. And I'm going to tell you something else. It has been reported. Hold on. Let me go back because I don't want to misquote. But it was reported. Hold on. Let me find my receipts because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hold on. Yeah, now listen to this. Now, Tucker Carlson said this. And I don't like Tucker Carlson, but I happen to believe what he said because it all makes sense. Tucker Carlson said, or they're saying that Tucker Carlson just exposed how Israel is deliberately sowing chaos among America's closest allies. Okay, their closest Arab allies, revealing that Mossad agents were arrested. Now, please pay attention, for planning bombings in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if Saudi Arabia and Qatar are supposed to be on Team USA, why would the Mossad agents be plotting to bomb them? Let me see if I can, let me verify this. Hold on. Okay, so now here's what they say. They say, based on search results up to March the 2nd, because I just Googled this, there are no verified reports of Mossad agents being charged for planting bombs on March the 1st of 2026. However, amidst high tensions and active conflicts between Israel and Iran, there have been several reports of arrests related to espionage and sabotage. Okay, I wonder what that all entails, what that was all about. Now, they say the reports indicate ongoing severe confrontations between Israel and Iran, including claims of Israeli operations sabotaging Iranian air defense and missile infrastructure, and Iran arresting alleged spies. Now, Iran previously reported arresting individuals accused for Mossad, and in 2025, claiming they were found with explosives and drone equipment. And then they say reports mention recent arrest in Turkey regarding spying for Israel in February of 2026, and an Israeli intelligence agent arrested for smuggling goods in February as well. Okay, so Tucker might not know exactly what he's talking about. Hold on, let me go and see what he said. I'm just going to pull up the footage. I'm going to pull up the footage, and I'm going to use an overlay, mind you. CB said, can't trust everybody. I believe it. Okay, exactly, beloved. I believe it too. Okay, now sometimes, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, honey. I catch Chat GPT and lies all the time. Okay, I catch Chat GPT just telling lies sometimes. So please don't just think we can rely on it all the time, because if they don't want you to know something, they're gonna program it to tell you whatever they want you to think, in my opinion. Okay, so now let's go to this report.
Now, that wasn't a risk from the Israeli standpoint. That was the point. That was the point. They wanted to diminish the Gulf, and in 2 days they have. And I think anyone who likes decency and order and cleanliness is hoping that the Gulf will recover. The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far. They're our friends. But they've been really hurt. in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also it's a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly. It's got the busiest airport in the world. You start seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year. Oh, sorry, drug cartels. Whatever. Maybe you go to Sedona this year. It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait. And they've succeeded. Now that was...
Okay, I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. Okay? Yeah, I absolutely believe it. A bunch of nefariousness. Okay? And that's how you sow seeds of chaos. All right? That's how you sow seeds of chaos. And let me just tell you all something. You need to pay attention, because what did I tell you all this morning? There is going to be something that happens here on a large scale, some sort of terrorist attack, in my opinion. And, they're going to say that it was Iran, but it might not be who they say it is. And I want y'all to pay attention to that. Okay? I want y'all to pay attention. Now, that is what I do believe. Okay, so now let's go to Marco Rubio, saying the U.S. is not currently postured for ground forces in Iran. Judah Homecoming said, this is ridiculous. These people are crazy. Yeah, they absolutely are. Okay, they absolutely are, and nefarious.
The president always has the options to undertake whatever operations he decides to do as the commander-in-chief. That said, we believe the objective that we have set for this mission, which is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities, both launch capability and manufacturing, can be achieved without ground forces. Right now, we're not postured for ground forces, but obviously the president has those options. He's never going to rule out anything. Our mission and our focus is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and their ability to manufacture them, as well as the threat posed by their Navy to global shipping. That's our objective. That said, we would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible. But the objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
How does your message to Americans who are concerned about rising energy prices, given the spiking of oil prices today?
Yes, and we knew that going in would be a factor, and so we have a program in place that will begin to be implemented by Secretary Wright, Secretary Bessent. We talked about it last night, again, about this program. We talked this morning, and starting tomorrow, you will see us rolling out those phases to try to mitigate against that. Obviously, markets are going to be reacting to news about what's happening. And again, a reminder, think about it, okay? This terroristic regime led by radical clerics has the ability, potentially, to shut off 20% of global energy. That's the kind of leverage they have because of their Navy. We're going to destroy their Navy. But there is a plan in place. We anticipated this could be an issue, and Secretary Wright and Bessent will begin to roll out those steps starting tomorrow to mitigate against the impact that could have.
I'm going to tell you all something. If you ask me, that's exactly what the Trump administration is. Okay? That's exactly what the Trump administration is. And here's the thing. He said they're going to destroy their Navy. Well, I find that to be quite interesting. And here's why. Because it has come to my attention that, in fact, U.S. naval officers have put T-shirts and things, stuffed the toilets, okay? Stuffed the toilets with T-shirts and things so that they would overflow because they were frustrated and angry that they've been out to sea for 8 months. And with all that's going on, it's going to be at least a year, possibly. And so this is what has been reported by the Army Colonel Douglas McGregor. He also had some other things to say, which I'm going to get into momentarily. But before I do, let's go to this report from MS Now from 33 minutes ago, where they say warmonger Trump blasted by Tucker MAGA over bombing seventh country this term. Okay, so let's go to this. Like up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Very important that you like the videos, beloveds.
Be one of the first casualties of war. This is a time, especially against an administration that has been caught lying a lot and uses.
Hold on, let me say something before he gets started. This is what I also forgot to tell you all. So, when I was talking about Iran striking the Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC region, well, they basically supply to the U.S. Specifically crude oil, okay, and petroleum products. Okay, I want you to think about that. Okay, as part of economic diversification, they also supply petrochemicals, aluminum, and increasingly critical minerals. Okay, so what do you think will happen by the fact that they're getting struck? Okay, this is like an attack on the global economy, and this is all Donald Trump's fault as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this is why I have been telling you all to get ready and make sure you're following the lifelines that I've given you and you're stocking up on things because it's about to get really scarce around here. Okay, but now let's continue.
Propaganda has been caught putting up false statements, videos, even at times misleading AI. We want to make sure we touch on that dynamic, the truth and Donald Trump's long history of lies and deceit, in addition to the other war reporting we're doing tonight. President Trump attacking Iran is the opposite of what he claimed he would do. And while some people might say, well, these images are, of course, war, and here we are, and let's move into it, the American public has a right to understand about why we are waging the opposite of what Donald Trump claimed his foreign policy would be in the most recent election where he was elected and promised no forever wars. His campaign promises were against exactly this kind of war of choice in a complex region where America doesn't have an urgent U.S. interest. One report noting that no president in the modern era has ordered more military strikes against as many different countries as Trump. That's in this term alone. Did you know that? Axios noting, as we get into this Iran war, that Trump authorized more individual airstrikes last year than Biden did in 4 years. I want to show you tonight, Trump has now bombed 7 countries in over a year. Iran, Nigeria, Venezuela, of course, where, like Iran, we were a part of an effort that removed the leader, Iraq, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a moment. What you are looking at is unilateral, unbridled American war power under Donald Trump without the Congress. Whether any of these become his so-called forever wars is a matter of risk, something not in our control, because once you start taking out leaders and bombing different places, all sorts of things can happen. This is just in the beginning of the second term alone. The normally MAGA-friendly Wall Street Journal notes Trump spent years denouncing U.S. intervention. Now he's toppling foreign leaders.
I will tell you, you're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. I will also restore peace through strength, and I will prevent World War III from happening. These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas. Our current strategy of nation building and regime change is a proven absolute failure. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
False. He is starting wars, risking wars, because there are some countries like Venezuela that are in a position where they may or may not fight back. And he said regime change is the goal. He just urged the Iranian people to rise up and change their regime this weekend. Americans are now dying in this war. There are some who might say, oh, it seems quaint to hold a politician or this politician to his words, but that is exactly what we do. And sooner or later in American history, we have seen even powerful, at one time popular presidents, and this one isn't, we've seen people in those positions have it all burn up over the exact thing Donald Trump is doing. thinking that because we have the power and we have the nukes, we can, quote, get away with anything.
Let me tell you why Donald Trump thinks this. Donald Trump thinks that he's so big and bad and tough and he's a bully and all of that, running the country like John Gotti himself, like I told you all over a year ago. But here's the thing. He really got the big head once he captured Maduro. Once he had Maduro captured, that's when he thought that he was Billy Bad Arse. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention, and that's why he's been doing all of this stuff, as far as I'm concerned. But also, let me just point out that Army Colonel Douglas McGregor also said something about, and I'll have to go to the video, but he said something along the lines of that there were intelligence agencies out there doing the protests, that the initial protests in Iran were legitimate. They started due to the economic issues they were having and complaining about, but then they had these intelligence agencies come over there and start protesting, pretending to be protesters and whatnot, and then basically telling the people to fire at the police in an effort to create more chaos. Okay. And so that sounds like what Trump was doing. He wasn't telling them to shoot the police, but wasn't Trump encouraging the protesters over there?
Indeed. George W. Bush and LBJ found that what started with wide support ended with a kind of ignominy in history for their war failures. It is early days. We are seeing some objections on the right.
It's bad. It's really bad. I was promised that this wouldn't turn into a larger regional conflict. It's hard to believe it. It's hard to believe that at this point.
It's like, why do we do this? Like, why are we helping?
I'm not happy about the whole thing. I don't think this was in America's interest.
He was the No More Endless Wars candidate in 2016 and 2024, particularly, and this looks like an open betrayal of the base.
We're back with foreign policy veteran David Rothkopf. Your thoughts on this hypocrisy?
Well, you've summed it up right. It's not no more wars. It's more wars than anyone else. He has launched attacks on 7 different countries, 8 if you count the troops he's deployed in the United States. That's 8 more countries than he's actually solved wars in. He claims he's the peacemaker president, but he's clearly not. It's the opposite of that. And several of these wars are ongoing at the same time right now. He can't say he's against endless wars because from day one, practically, of entering this administration, he has been fighting wars. This administration thus far has been an endless war. And of course, it's alienating his base. But I would say to the base, stand by, because, for all the reasons that were described by your previous guests in the show, this is an incoherent war undertaken not by choice, but by impulse. And we don't know what's going to happen next. What if the war means prices are going to go up? What if the war means markets will be unstable? What if the war triggers terrorism around the world? What if the war means troops on the ground? What if the war means alienating more of our allies? There are a lot of ways that what we've seen in the past couple of days and throughout the past year could turn real bad for average Americans. And so that's when, the anger or the brewing discontent that you talked about gets turned up a lot of notches. And of course, it's an election year.
How does the U.S. factor this in? Because you want to have maximum runway and leverage without a congressional authorization and public approval. That becomes a real world problem, even if Trump would like to wish it away as an autocrat. There are those today speaking out, calling this, quote, disgusting and evil. That's not a AOC. That's a quote from longtime Fox host Tucker Carlson.
Well, it's not often that I come on your show and agree with Tucker Carlson, but, it is disgusting and it is evil. And indeed, it's illegal. It's contrary to the Constitution. There was no imminent threat. It's contrary to the interests of the American people. It's contrary to the interests of our allies. There are already hundreds of civilians who are dead. Many of our friends in the region are hunkering down and in trouble. It is clearly a war that was fought in defense, not of the United States, but perhaps of Bibi Netanyahu. And as far as disgusting goes, look, you know the movie Wag the Dog from 1997, a movie that talks about, a fictional president choosing to have a war to distract from domestic problems. I think a lot of people think, and I think for good reason, that Trump is trying to change the subject with this war away from Epstein, away from plummeting poll ratings. And, changing the subject is one thing. Changing the subject by upsetting the entire Middle East, putting world peace at risk, putting hundreds of lives at risk. We're already, I believe 6 members of our military are already dead as a consequence. That is disgusting.
Okay, absolutely. And it's interesting because these are all the things that Trump accused President Barack Obama of doing. Okay, like the guy just said, it's an election year, and also the fact that he's trying to distract us from the Epstein files. Okay. So let's continue. Now, with that all being said, here's the thing. Here's what further makes me think what Tucker Carlson said is true. Okay, when he said that Israel did it, this is what really makes me think it's true, because here's another report. Let me share my screen. This is a report straight from Iran. And here's what they say. Let's get into it. Okay, they say just in, this is from 7 hours ago. They say Iranian state media shares that Iran did not attack the Ras Tanura oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. It was Israel. Okay, it was Israel, they say. Tasnim news agency reports the attack on the Saudi Aramco refinery was carried out by Israel. Iran did not strike any oil facilities in Saudi Arabia. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Sowing seeds of discord is what it sounds like, if this is all true, and I believe that it is. Okay. Okay, I find it all interesting. Hold on.
Why do we accept that Israel has a nuclear bomb? This is absolutely unacceptable. No, you call Iran the main threat, but look at Israel bombing Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, what else? Qatar recently. Secondly, why did you not condemn or even mention the fact that it was the United States that pulled out of the nuclear deal? It was not Iran, it was the United States pulling out. And finally, why did we not condemn as European Union the illegal US-Israeli strikes on Iran, which made a lot of civilian casualties, and which made nuclear diplomacy more difficult, not less difficult? And we're saying, hey guys, we're the good guys, we care about nuclear non-proliferation and about human rights, while we're worsening the situation. We're imposing sanctions that hurt ordinary Iranians, that have it more difficult now to buy medicine, to buy basic goods. And let's be honest, our policies have only one goal, and that is weakening Iran in order to turn it into a new Syria, a new Lebanon, a new Iraq. And that the people of the region will not stand for. Why do we accept that Israel has a nuclear bomb? This is absolutely unacceptable. No.
Okay. I find that all interesting. Hold on, beloveds. So, with that all been said, what I find interesting is that also it was reported, now this is about President Zelensky over in Ukraine. Now, there was a report that said that President Zelensky actually signed an executive order, if I'm not mistaken, where he could take children without parental consent he could take the children. Hold on, let me go pull this up. That he could take these children without parental consent from areas, I guess, where there was destruction due to the war that's going on. But I want you all to pay attention to that, because at the end of the day, isn't that how these children end up being trafficked? Okay, isn't that how they end up being trafficked? Just like those migrant children that just disappeared into thin air, over 300,000. Like, how does this even happen? It makes no sense. Also, we have to go to what Stanley Kubrick's daughter said. Stanley Kubrick's daughter, okay, Stanley Kubrick, for those of you who don't know, was the director who directed the movie Eyes Wide Shut, and he died before the movie came out. Okay, hold on, let me go back to my X account. Shoshana said no one should have nukes. Right. Okay, now here it is right here. Zelensky signs a law allowing to evacuate children from potential combat zones without parents' consent. Okay, compulsory relocation of children to safer regions is now authorized. Well, I find that interesting, because what do the parents have to say about this? But also, why I find it further interesting is because Zelensky also hired that demonic woman with the spirit cooking, okay, that was in Jay-Z's video, Picasso, Marina Abramovic. Let's get into it. And I don't trust her at all. I don't trust Zelensky either. Okay, y'all know Zelensky is one of those folks. Okay, please pay attention. He's one of those folks. Okay, read between the lines. Y'all know what folks I'm talking about. So here's the thing. So I found out that back in late 2023, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky invited Serbian performance artist Marina Abramovic to act as ambassador for Ukraine. Okay, now please pay attention. And here's the keys to her role and purpose. So the role was intended to focus on helping to rebuild schools in Ukraine and aiding children affected by the ongoing war. Now, y'all tell me that don't sound like trafficking. Y'all tell me that doesn't sound like trafficking. Y'all know who Marina Abramovic is, right? Spirit cooking, okay? Satanic things that she's engaged in. As far as I'm concerned, I've shown you all the receipts. I did a whole video on her and her connection to Jay-Z. Now, with that all being said, she's the ambassador for Ukraine, in charge of helping to rebuild schools and aiding children affected by the ongoing war. Let me tell y'all something. How many times have I told you all that these people come along and they pretend, you know, when there's disasters going on, like the earthquake in Haiti, when there's different things going on, like the Hurricane Katrina incident, where these children, okay, who are victims of these occurrences, often come up missing because people come along acting as though they're mercenaries and missionaries, and oh, we're here to help. And let's not forget the lady that was over there trying to take those 33 children from Haiti and got busted, and then Bill and Hillary Clinton went over there to save her. Okay, please pay attention. This is all nefarious. All right, this is all nefarious, and I don't trust any of it. Now, Abramovic has expressed full solidarity with the Ukrainian people, describing them as strong and proud, and has stated that the attack on Iran is an attack on humanity. Okay, and then back in 2022, shortly after the Russian invasion, Abramovic also supported Ukraine by restaging her performance piece, The Artist is Present, to raise funds for the country. Honey, I don't trust that woman at all. And the fact that she's having anything to do with people's children and over there talking about rebuilding schools and all of that, and aiding these children affected by the ongoing war, yeah, that absolutely sounds like she's up to something. Okay, I don't trust any of it. Now, Measure Man said, look at her video of her and DJT that he has chosen to lead the nations. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, okay, because they've already deemed him the king of the youths, beloved. Okay, so I absolutely believe it. Okay, and thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. So, you know, this is all just crazy to me. Now, so let's go to this clip with Stanley Kubrick's daughter. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I'm already sharing it. What am I talking about? Okay, now let me roll this back.
Stanley Kubrick's daughter said that more than 20,000 Ukrainian children have gone missing in Europe since 2022, with none of the cases solved.
Let me stop right there. Did y'all hear that? Let me stop right there. She said they've gone missing since 2022. Isn't that what she said? Okay, so peep this. In 2022, I just told you, and 2022, shortly after the Russian invasion, Abramovic also supported Ukraine by restaging her performance and all that. So that's when she started helping out over there in 2022. And conveniently, okay, children start coming up missing. Okay. These children start coming up missing. Y'all hear this? But let's continue.
In her interview with the BBC, Vivian Kubrick stated that in 2022, Volodymyr Zelensky listened to Prince Andrew's best friend, Boris Johnson, instead of ending the war. The conflict led to a huge influx of Ukrainians into Europe, where they became the most vulnerable social group and literally turned into entertainment for the European lobby of perverts. If you think that the pedophile lobby was destroyed along with Epstein's Island, you are mistaken. They continue to do evil, using children from Ukraine for this purpose. President Zelensky bears personal responsibility for every child raped by these perverts. Vivian Kubrick is the daughter of filmmaker Stanley Kubrick and actress Christiana Kubrick. Her father's film Eyes Wide Shut is said to be a hidden message about the sexual deviance of the world's elite.
And that's why he's dead, okay? And that's why he's dead, in my opinion. I think they killed Stanley Kubrick, okay? And let me just tell you also, Stanley Kubrick, there's a video that I saw years ago where Stanley Kubrick said that the moon landing was fake and that he's the one that directed it, okay? I swear I saw that. Okay, so please pay attention. Honey, all the world's a stage.
Stanley Kubrick's daughter said that more than 20,000
Okay, I'm sorry. Make that make sense. This is all so egregious. Okay, so with that all being said, hold on. Now, let's talk about 50 Cent. Okay, let's talk about 50 Cent. At the end of the day, let's get into it. Oh, hold on. Before we do, let me go to the former U.S. National Security Advisor, Colonel Douglas McGregor. Okay, let me go to his video real quick.
Started with were very legitimate protests about the economic conditions in Iran. Those overlapped with a struggle, political struggle, between reformers and conservatives. This then was developed into a CIA, Mossad, MI6 operation with the introduction of thousands of these Starlight terminals, enormous quantities of money, which in that setting, of course, is going to buy a certain amount of support. And now we have all sorts of evidence that's being provided overseas as well as here at home for instructions given to people in the crowds to fire on the police and provoke the police to shoot back at them in the hopes that people would be killed. And this then would worsen the situation. Well, all of this unfolded and it failed.
Okay, one more clip from him. Hold on, let me read a couple of these comments. Okay, so LL said Fetty Cent. Okay, not Fetty Cent, beloved. Measurement said Rick Owens has the same tattoo that Diddy has on his back with Michelle Lammy. Yeah, I did a whole video about that, beloved. Yeah, I did a whole video about that. Okay, they have that. I know that several celebrities have that crown tattoo that Diddy has on the back of his neck. They have that crown tattoo, and I'm trying to think, where did they get that tattoo from? They got that from some artist, if I'm not mistaken. But let's go to this next clip. Okay, then we're going to talk about Fetty Cent, as you called him, LL. I love it. The writer said 50 Cent ain't nothing but 10 wooden nickels. Okay?
Let's make it clear that this is Israel's war. This is their conflict. And it was no accident that Mr. Netanyahu visited recently with the president. And I think his purpose was to finalize agreement on the future operation against Iran. We are essentially subordinating ourselves to Israeli command and control. We will attack when the Israelis say they think they're comfortable, and we will continue to do whatever we're going to do during the attack until the Israelis ask us to stop. And that is effectively what happened during the 12-day conflict. It was the Israelis that contacted us and said, essentially, enough. And that was because they were sustaining a lot of damage that I don't think they really expected. Now, are we going to attack Iran? Yes, I would say the probability of that occurring is maybe 99%. So I think that's an absolute certainty. I wish that it were not. I think wars that can be avoided should be avoided. Whatever you plan, however careful you may be, whatever amounts of military power that you amass, once war begins, everything tends to change. Forces out of your control overwhelm you. Unanticipated consequences of your actions have an effect. Now, you mentioned Russia and Iran. I don't have the exact tally in front of me, but if you look at Russian and China, if you look at Russian and Chinese investment in Iran, it's substantial. It runs into hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, this is not something that they're interested in tossing away. It's also interesting to note that in previous years, both Moscow and Beijing have offered the Iranians assistance with integrated air defenses. And on these previous occasions, and I mean until the last 6, 7, 8 months, the Iranians said, no thanks, we'll do it ourselves. Well, that did not work terribly well the last time. The integrated air defense didn't perform, not to the extent that they'd hoped. So this is a different situation now. The problem for the Iranians, and these are intelligent people, anyone who thinks that the Iranians do not have a lot of human capital and clever and intelligent people is wrong. They do, and they're very expert at cyber, and their engineers are held in extremely high regard when you look at the quality of rocketry and missile engineering. Yeah. So they're very effective. The issue that we cannot really address because you and I don't know it is how well integrated all of this new technology and advice is. I mean, it's one thing to integrate advice and support and new technologies over the space of, say, 2, 3, 4 years. But they've had to do a lot of work since the last event. A lot of people didn't notice, but when the Iranian president visited President Putin after the last conflict that lasted 12 days, Putin said very quietly to him, it was barely picked up, and I don't see anybody in the West who's talked about it, but he said to him very quietly, you should have let us help you. So I think it was very clear when he came to Moscow that he told the Russians, you were right, we were wrong, and now we really need help.
I find it all interesting. But now let me just say this. I told you all that Black people were on TikTok, telling the Iranians that we don't have anything to do with it, right? And then I reminded you all how with the Iran hostage crisis that basically, they let the Black people and the women hostages go first because those were the oppressed people according to them. Excuse me. So Metro Man said, just because truth, not much keep the party going. We only rocking with 5 channels total. They can delete emails they have had for years. Go Queen. All right, beloved. So they didn't believe what you were saying previously, huh? Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, let's go to this Black man because I told you all the Black people were trying to let it be known that we don't have ish to do with this. It's all on Trump and how they don't want any smoke. So look what this Black man did, honey. I had to cackle when I saw this. This fool, he jumped on some random Iran people's live. Okay, do y'all see this?
Looking at it, niggas. Boy, y'all not these music gang. But we do not want that smoke with y'all. Oh God, we do not want that smoke. Hey, whatever he said, we don't got no question, gang.
Okay, y'all see that? He said we do not want that smoke with y'all. Okay. Absolutely hilarious. All right. So now with that all being said, let's talk about 50 cents. Okay. Let me pull up my receipts here because, honey, they say it's word on the streets, and I don't know if it's true or not. I think Tasha K is the one that first put it out there. Okay, I think Tasha K is the first one that said it, but they're saying that Tasha K has alleged that 50 Cent is working on a T.I. and Tiny documentary. Reported yesterday. Tasha K's allegations haven't been confirmed, but some fans think this documentary on T.I. and Tiny isn't out of 50 Cent's wheelhouse. So while T.I. and his family have launched various diss tracks against 50 Cent, folks wonder if 50's social media trolling in response will be his only retort. Speculative rumors and unconfirmed gossip about this continues to develop. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. So with that all being said, hold on, what the hell is this? I'm getting a pop-up. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, so anyway, they go on to say that the rumors and unconfirmed gossip continue to develop, including a recent allegation from Tasha K that also involves T.I.'s wife, Tamika Tiny Cottle Harris. She took to Twitter last night to claim that she spoke to alleged sources. This was actually on Saturday, February the 28th, they say, that Tasha K went on Twitter to say that she spoke to alleged sources reportedly connected to G-Unit, okay, to the Moguls team, and the blogger alleged that he's working on a documentary about the Georgia couple and their alleged rugging and assault accusations. And of course, this doesn't have any official confirmation from either side or credible backups to the allegation. However, it might make sense in some fans' eyes due to 50 Cent's previous documentary work. He got a lot of flack for executive producing the Diddy docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning on Netflix. So we know it's in the Queen Superstar's arsenal. However, that presumptive precedent might be what sparked these rumors in the first place. So basically, they don't know if it's true or not. But here's the thing. If it is true, Queen of Montague said, Queen, you are a true warrior soldier, injured or not. One love. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and blessings. You know, I try, beloved. I try to get you all the news as best I can. Now, I'm going to share my screen and go to Tasha K's post just to verify or clarify that she posted this. Here it is right here. Okay, this is what she says. Fresh off my desk, okay? Urgent message to the Harris family and their dwarf-looking sons. Tasha K, that's not nice. You're talking about people's kids, girl. Okay, fresh on my desk from sources connected to 50 Cent's team that while T.I. and Sons are trolling 50 Cent with diss tracks to move records after that little failed comedy stint, 50 is allegedly loading up. Hold on. Okay, now hold on, let me go to the next screen so I can get the whole message. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so says 50 Cent is prepared. Hold on. Okay, with diss tracks to remove records after that little failed comedy stint, 50 is allegedly loading up a documentary on T.I. and Tiny and their alleged rugging and assault accusations. If I were them, I'd apologize and fall all the way back. That man does not play fair. They wanted me to do the honors. Hashtag let them know. Everything's alleged, even my Wi-Fi. Tasha K, sit down somewhere. One thing about Tasha K is she loves people's demise just like 50 Cent, okay? And she's another one who never talks about those people that don't look like her either. Now, she'll tell you that she does, but she doesn't. Okay, she doesn't. Miss me with it, Tasha K. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's continue. What I was going to say about 50 Cent, if he does do a documentary on them, it's not going to be good for him. He thinks it's going to be bad for them, but it's going to be even worse for him. And I promise you that. Okay, I promise you that. Because people already went in on him about going after Diddy when he doesn't go after these other folks that don't look like us when they've done and been accused of the same exact things and worse. Okay, Epstein definitely worse. Okay, so with that all been said, people are already talking all over TikTok about, you know, canceling 50 Cent, okay, canceling Netflix, canceling his shows. And also he just said that the Power Legacy is about to come out and this will probably be his last one or something like that. But he made that announcement also. But hold on, let me just tell you all something about 50 Cent. Because 50 Cent is a thief. He been out here stealing people's stuff for years. So let me just break it down for you. I told you all days ago how he sat there and went in on Ja Rule back in the day, you know, trying to discredit Ja Rule, calling him a singing rapper. And then when Ja Rule fell off, he then comes out and starts doing rap songs where he's singing Many Men. Okay, y'all know the magic stick. Okay, and then now there's a video of him, and I'm not gonna play the video, unfortunately, because it has music in the background, and every time I looked up the video to see if I could find one without the music, it always had music. I guess because the podcast he was on at the time was playing the music, okay? They were playing Nelly's song, because here's why. Nelly's song, It's Getting Hot in Here, 50 Cent copied that song. He admitted to it. He said it himself. He stole it. That's what he did. He swagger jacked it. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up on Google, even just in print, so you all can see it. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here's a clip. Now, let me see if this one has music playing. Hold on. This was like a year ago. Okay, I'm going to read the report because this has music. But he said that he wrote It's On Fire, or a song called On Fire. He said he got it from Nelly. Hold on, let's get into it. Because here's the report right here. I'm going to share my screen. This man is nothing but a hater, a troll, and a thief. He steals from other artists, and then he tries to discredit them. He is not for Black people. Okay, he is not for Black people. We need to drag him. Okay, now please pay attention. So 50 Cent, and let's not forget how he took a plea deal for domestic violence. They're saying that he's no better than Diddy. And it's interesting because he did a documentary on Diddy, but they're saying he's just like Diddy, okay? Because domestic violence, he pled guilty, or he took a plea deal rather, and then he punched the fan and she sued him, okay? A female, he punched her in the chest, okay? A vicious punch, they say, according to reports. Daphne Joy says that he R-worded her, okay? She said that he beat her, and did she at one point have a restraining order against him? Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Okay, 50 Cent used this Nelly song to craft a hit for Lloyd Banks. It's the same record. The rapper discussed his songwriting process with Ebro, Peter Rosenberg, and Laura Stiles on Hot 97. Yeah, and they were playing Nelly's song as he spoke about it. That's why I can't play the video. 50 Cent reflected on borrowing elements from a specific Nelly song to help create a track for Lloyd Banks while speaking with Ebro, Peter Rosenberg, and Laura Stiles on Hot 97. Here's what he said. I would be able to look at someone else's record and be able to make my version of the record when the right production came around. Okay, he explained this during Friday, November the 1st, when they had a chat. When Nelly was going, It's Getting Hot in Here, so take off all your clothes. That's how Banks did On Fire. I wrote the chorus for that. And he said he can look at other people's songs and see how to rearrange it, basically. Okay, he continued it to detail. It's the same record. Adding, it's just new melodies, new production, and let Banks do it. Y'all hear this? This is him on the podcast when he said it. Now, in the same conversation, the Many Men rhymer also discussed the current state of hip-hop music, sharing his opinion on J. Cole's minimal participation in the feud between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Okay, so y'all hear that? A whole thief. But not only that, talking about he borrowed. No, when you borrow without asking, that's called thievery. That's called theft. Okay, intellectual property theft, as far as I'm concerned. Now, but that ain't all. That ain't even all. Because guess what else? Somebody came out and said that 50 Cent stole their friend's song. Yeah, hold on. This is an artist who's trying to come up. This is an artist who's trying to come up. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go through these receipts real quick. Okay, I'm just going to go through these clips one by one, and we'll likely come across that along the way. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's start. Let me see. Right here. And also, let me say this too. You know, they said Eris, T.I and Tiny's youngest daughter, their youngest child rather, said that she came out and she was doing that song "Don't Mess with My Mama." I think I told you all that song was from like a year ago. But so people have been doing videos about it on TikTok, saying that she's joined in the melee, basically, you know. But her sister Zanique came out, and Zanique said that that video is like a year old, and please stop saying that, because she does not want 50 Cent to come after her little sister and start criticizing her. And I said, you know what? That's a darn shame that they are afraid, that she's afraid that 50 would even come after a little child. Okay? How old is that poor child? About 10? Okay, but anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, we're going to the first clip.
One thing about it and two things for sure, don't ever come for Tiny if you don't want the whole Harris family on your ass. You got T.I declaring war on 50. He dropped about 11 songs and sent that hit call out to his kids. Then you got King and Damani doing 50 push-ups for 50. But now King really feeling himself and put 50 mom on a t-shirt. Then Zanique jumped in it, basically calling 50 mother ugly. Then Tiny started talking crazy, talking about she breeding the next Jackson 5. Might as well throw the other kids in there too. So now we got to get the other son, Buddy Red, to strum 50 strings for 50. Then we got to have Zanique and Harris. They got to sing a little something. And the other sister, Deja, she could be like a backup singer, dancer, whatever. All I know is that this song from the whole family might be lit, right? Moral of the story, if you don't want a whole squad on your ass, don't ever come for Tiny, okay?
Okay. Now, let me show you all this picture. Now, they say 50 posted this. I guess 50 posted because they were saying he's wrong for it. I don't know if 50 came up with this or not, but this is what is on TikTok. Y'all see that? I find it all nefarious. Okay. But then they said he deleted all of the posts. Now, he had deleted them a few days ago and then came back with some more posts, but now they're saying he deleted them again. I don't know, because I don't follow him anymore. But I find it all nefarious. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Juju said it's fake outrage. People been coming for Tiny for years. No, it's not fake outrage, Juju. At the end of the day, yeah, people have been coming for Tiny for years, but these people were not famous people with a platform like 50 Cent. And also, at the end of the day, 50 Cent and T.I were supposed to be cool. Now, 50 Cent got mad because T.I called him out for verses. Okay, so that's what started the thing. And it doesn't matter who called her out. This is about T.I and 50 Cent, so it's not fake outrage. Okay, at the end of the day, you can't discredit people's anger. That's what you can't do. Okay. Now, with that all being said, let's continue.
A Tiny daughter Zanique says that video going around on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter of Paris saying, "What do you say about my mother? What did you say about my mother?" It's an old video from over a year ago when basically the Lion King came out and everybody was doing the trend saying different names. My brother, what do you say about my sister? What do you say about my dad? Different things like that. She said, please leave her little sister out of it because she don't want her little sister to be attacked by 50 Cent. And I agree with her. At the end of the day, they're still a child. I think some people, before posting stuff to make it go viral, they have to do their research and confirm. And a lot of people didn't do that. So I agree with Zanique. Now, with King and Damani and all them going against 50 Cent, they have every right to do so. They much older, they grown, they can say what they want. But at the end of the day, Sonique says she do not want her sister to be criticized. Like, I agree. So let me know what y'all think about Sonique telling everybody to stop basically posting that video and sharing it because it's not towards 50 Cent.
Okay. Let's clear that on up. Metro Man said we put the Landry and Bowen in Shreveport. How he got his contract. Look up Sharika Fleming's on our team from Shreveport, and we'll walk you from that how she declined him in Shreveport. Okay, thank you for that tidbit of information, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, we do know that 50 bought property down there in Shreveport, Louisiana, to open up his production studios or whatever he has going on, honey. Okay, he might be canceled, okay, before he knows it. That's what he just might be. Now, let's go to this next clip.
How rich you have to be for your children to be defending a woman that's not even their mother, but they love her like one. They appreciate her like she's their mother, and therefore they see her as a mother. To the point to where you're not going to talk about her or you're going to get your lashings about her. T.I is rich in a whole other way that 50 Cent could never, ever achieve, I'm afraid. Yes, they both have money. They've both had amazing careers. They both had amazing runs. They both had their time where they were number one in what they did. And yes, they're both great businessmen, in my opinion. But T.I will always be richer than 50 Cent. Will always be able to say that he and Tiny are leaving behind a legacy. Children with talent, children with morals, children with some kind of grounding. And that's something 50 Cent will never be able to relate to. You have left a trail of bitterness and pettiness throughout your entire career. You are known for being a troll. I'm sorry. Clifford won. Like, Clifford won this. And 50 Cent could be the biggest troll in the world. He probably ain't done. He probably got more up his sleeve. But he lost. Like, the Harris are a family. Like, they're a family unit. And that's something that 50 Cent will never be able to relate to. I'm sorry. Nah, Dolly, you lost.
And here's the thing. If we're talking about a popularity contest here, if it comes to be between 50 Cent and T.I., T.I is going to win all day long. You see, more people like T.I than 50 Cent. The only people caping for 50 is the Negroes from New York. That's it. The people from New York are caping for 50, and as they should, because that's their person. But at the end of the day, almost everybody else is down with T.I, okay? 50 can say what he wants. He can do that documentary, but I promise you, if and when he does, it's going to get him canceled, not T.I and Tiny, okay? Not T.I and Tiny, because first of all, most people don't even believe those allegations. Some of them have been dismissed, and clearly some of those folks have got caught in lies, okay? And so why has it been going on for so long? Well, because they can't prove anything, and these people clearly don't have evidence, okay? These are likely people who engaged in threesomes, and then when they saw they can try to get a payday, that's what they did. Okay, well, how many times have we heard this story? All right, so with that all been said, Pensacola says, America is falling. 7 nations has to rise. Okay? Absolutely. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for your contribution for the channel and your insight into the topic. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, here is the young lady who calls 50 Cent a loser. And she says the same thing that 50 admitted to, that he stole Nelly's song for Lloyd Banks, talking about he borrowed it. No, he stole it. And so this lady says that he stole her friend's music too. And I looked this lady up that she's talking about, and she has some good music. And I absolutely believe he stole it. Let's get into it. And so I said all that to say this. How is he any different than Diddy? He's been accused of rape. He's been accused of DV, and he actually pled guilty or took a plea deal for it. He's been accused of hitting another woman, okay? And at the end of the day, he's been accused of stealing from other artists. Aren't these the same things that Diddy was accused of? Maybe a few more for Diddy, but nonetheless, how's he any better is all I'm saying. Let's get into it.
He sounds is a bitch. My bad, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. I just started off with violence. Sorry. So one of my friends from high school, shout out to Brittany. Well, Pineapple City. My bad. My bad. Anyway, she produces music. She's really good, really creative. She's intertwined in the industry. Now, a few years back, I want to say this is probably going back almost a decade at this point. This was a while ago. She made a song. She created a beat. You know, I don't know the world of production, but she produced a song. 50 Cent stole it from her and claimed it as his own. Okay? Now, her symbol is the pineapple. Pineapple City. That's her name if you want to look her up. But she posted about it on her Instagram or wherever. And all of her supporters, me, because when I went to high school, I will forever support people I went to school with. If you are out in the world doing good, I will forever support you. Just know that. But she posted about it. So I was like, oh, hell no. So all of us ran to his comments and started posting pineapples in his comments. Like to just, like kind of like the beehive would go post bees, very, very, not even saying no words, just posting pineapples. This nigga blocks every single person who posts pineapples in his comment section. This is also a man who hit the scene wearing a bulletproof vest because he was shot multiple times by his ops. Now, I don't even know what's going on with the whole Tiny situation. I saw Mama Tina get thrown in there, which was bitch. But all I know about this man is that he is forever harassing women. I think there was something a while ago with Tiara Marie. He never has the smoke for grown men. Why are you attacking Tiny? I don't even know what the fuck is going on, but I'm assuming your problem is with T.I. So that's who you should be addressing. Okay? Now, I really don't know what the fuck is going on for real, but I know two things about 50 Cent that makes me believe anything that someone is saying against him. The first is his own fucking kids don't like him. And the second, and this is the most important, is that man is a Cancer son. Okay? I don't know when his birthday is, but I know he's a Cancer. And I know that any Cancer man that I have met in my entire life has been the most diabolical creature you will ever come across. They all disgust me. And not too much because I'm a Cancer. Okay? So I could say that. And I can know that.
So she said 50 Cent is a biatch, okay? At her stealing from artists who are trying to come up. Now, let's go to this last clip and then I'm up out of here. Okay, this lady tells King to stop disrespecting the dead because he went in on 50 Cent's mother. Okay, let's get into it. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Agree or disagree? Should he not disrespect the dead?
Opinion on something real quick, right? Mamas is supposed to be off limit regardless. Whatever we got going on, you leave mamas out of it, right? But I guess the new generation or whatever, they don't think like that. Like it's like nothing's off limits type shit, right? I understand T.I.'s children's anger, like I get it, and I understand T.I.'s anger, but at this point, we're not even like finding good comebacks. We're just making fun of the fact that this man mama dead. It's very distasteful. I can't even like get into it. I'm not even saying like I'm picking sides because I really don't care that much, but I just wanted to speak on this. I wanted to see if anybody else thinking the same way I'm thinking. Getting that shirt with that man dead mama on it, not even really coming to good comebacks no more. Now we just coming with, now you're just dissing the dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now we just.
Now, she needs to shut the hell up as far as I'm concerned, because what she's not going to say anything about is the fact that 50 Cent dissed Irv Gotti when he was dead. Didn't 50 Cent diss Irv Gotti when he died? Okay, I'm sorry, honey. If you're going to talk about King, then bring up what 50 did, but she's not going to bring that up because she's from New York, and also she's salty because her mom is dead. Okay, let's continue.
Making fun of the fact that his mama dead, you making fun of her looks and shit like that. Y'all trying to hurt his feelings, but then in the meantime, you gotta be careful disrespecting the dead. It's coming from somebody who mom is passed. Both of my moms passed. I had the luxury of having my mama and my auntie raise me. So it's like, damn, I get we trying to ruffle some feathers here, but like, can we at least try to be like respectful towards the dead? You gotta be respectful towards him. He made fun of your mama looks, so you trying to make fun of his mama looks. Whatever, you feel what I'm saying? But the whole internet make fun of Tiny. They call you Lil Garlic Knot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to be funny, but she don't look too hot herself. Why she talking about the whole internet make fun of Tiny? What you look like? Talking about they call King a little garlic nut. She look like a little garlic nut too, in my opinion. Okay, if I'm just keeping it a buck. But let her cook.
And so it's just like, I don't get it. Maybe I'm sensitive when it comes to the mom topic. If we're gonna be funny and shit, if we're gonna be clapping back, let's clap back without like actually disrespecting the dead. That's all I'm saying.
First of all, she said she doesn't really care about it, but clearly you do, because, honey, why would you waste your time doing a video otherwise? Okay, clearly you care. And she feels some type of way, like I said, because her mom is dead. That's for number one. But for number two, at the end of the day, honey, there is no rules in war, okay? There is no rules in war. You see, when somebody strikes first blood, they can't tell you how to react. Because when somebody goes low, I'm not going to go high. I'm going to take it to hell. Okay, whatever I think I can do to hurt you, bring you down like you try to hurt me, that's what I'm going to do. And if that includes talking about your dead mama, if you talked about my mother and she's living or whatever, I'm still going to talk about your dead mama. That's just how that goes. Okay, now y'all can feel differently, but I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, you start some beef, you don't get to dictate how it goes, and you darn sure don't get to tell somebody else how to react. That's like if somebody slaps me and I punch them, they can't say, oh, I just slapped you. Why did you hit me with a closed fist? Okay, you don't get to dictate that. Okay, for every action, there's a reaction. And 50 should have thought about it before he did what he did. And here's another thing. At the end of the day, he also brought Beyonce's mother into it. Remember? Because Beyonce's mother posted a video supporting Tiny, and then he went in on her. So what are you doing here? And like that woman said, he always goes in on women. Because first off, why did he even bring Tiny into it? Okay, why did he bring Tiny into it? At the end of the day, he's always disrespecting Black women. And I want you all to pay attention to that, because this is his ex right here. That's his ex right here. She's ugly as hell. I promise you Tiny looks better than her. I promise you, don't y'all think Tiny looks better than her? Chelsea Handler, is he serious? Okay, please make it all make sense. That's the first thing I would have started off when I was clowning him. Okay, if I was King, but King probably doesn't even know he dated her. Okay, probably didn't even know he dated her. Now I'm going to go to this Tasha K clip. I forgot exactly what Tasha K is talking about in this clip, but something about she found out. The caption says, the moment Tasha K knew 56 Petty was on another level. Okay, I'm going to put an overlay on this. We'll use him and his girlfriend.
Now, after he chastised his baby mama, Daphne, okay, that he loved very much, because it was a time where he actually loved her. I think this is the first woman that he ever loved besides Cuban Link. Heard that Cuban Link demanded a ring, and he said no. And so that's why they're allegedly not together anymore. However, we can't confirm or deny. They may pop up again, just like Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade are back together. I guess she agreed to put the finger in his butt, allegedly. Listen. After he called her a little ex-worker and was trolling her about being Diddy's girl, and you know, him and Diddy have had a long-standing beef, okay, for quite some time, partly because his baby mama was with Diddy before him and after him, all right? But he decided, you know, to have a baby with her, and that's like in rapper times, that's like wifing up a chick, because if you found her good enough to have a child with, then you found her good enough to almost marry. He wouldn't even do that with Cuban Link, so it says a lot, all right? And he trolled her when he found out that she was allegedly one of his ex-workers and selling her body and, you know, being one of his paid girls. And, you know, he was on social media just alleging all sorts of things, chastising his baby mama. His son is old enough to be on social media. It was unnecessary. She gets online crying, you know, and she decides to sue him. So she sues him for, I guess, allegedly hitting her, allegedly R-ing her, and amongst other things, all right? I don't know how much she's seeking, but I do know she filed a defamation claim against him instead of Lil Rod. That didn't make sense to me, because I was like, Lil Rod, the one that put you in the lawsuit saying that you did that. I don't know why you didn't hit back at Lil Rod, but you decided to hit back at your baby daddy, and he's been going at her for quite a while. He decides to get petty and files a $1 million lawsuit against Daphne for saying that he R'd her. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I was under the impression that she's always made those allegations from the beginning, that he hit her and that he allegedly...
Yeah, she did make those allegations all the way back in 2013. At the time when it was recently reported, which was about 2024, I want to say, I didn't know that she had actually made those allegations some of these allegations in 2013. Okay, but let's continue.
You know, R'd her and things like that. And so I was under the impression that her story has never changed, okay? I guess maybe his reputation was taking a bit of a hit. But here's my thing. Don't poke the bear. You're poking, you're picking at her. She's your child's mom. You got to see her all the time, and you're on the internet just chastising her, and that's your son's mama. I don't understand that. And when you have bad relationships with all your baby mamas, it doesn't say anything about the baby mamas. It says everything about you being bitter. 50 Cent gives all day Tyrese energy. If I'm lying, log off. Highly emotional, highly sensitive, scared to love, can't trust women because he's wealthy. That's gotta hurt your ego. So you chastise them when they move on, and you're like, how does a man with thicker hips and a bigger butt steal my woman? You know, but here's my thing. You suing her, she's suing you. She has every right to sue you because you chastised her. She's not on the internet talking about you. She responded to what you were saying. Now, although he is reposting what was said about her, and she should have just wrapped Lil Rod in that lawsuit too, it hit them both when they both accused her of being a worker for Diddy. But here's my thing. They family. And I'm like, so y'all gonna sue each other, and then at the end of the day, he still got to give her money and child support. What are we doing here? Moving on, man. Out the foolishness, brother, for real. Who's coming to my...
Okay, so y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. At the end of the day, funny how Tasha K was going in on 50 Cent, but now so she seems to be on his side against T.I and Tiny. That's because she doesn't like them. Okay, Measure Man said, if you shower only 2 to 4 days like Deborah Cox, we can't be friends. Chelsea, you wrong as hell for that statement. Yeah, Chelsea Handler, 50 Cent's ex. Thank you for reminding me of that, beloved, and thank you for your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, Chelsea Handler says she only showers every 2 to 4 days. But that's who 50 Cent was laying up with, okay? Honey, the words that I would use to clown him about that, okay, like I said, King Harris clearly doesn't know that much. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, another thing they tried to bring up was the fact that Kodak Black and T.I got into it, and Kodak Black had released a diss track on T.I back in the day called Expeditiously. And they were like, oh, T.I didn't go all in on Kodak Black. Well, here's the thing. Kodak Black apologized, okay? That's the difference. Kodak Black apologized. T.I forgives Kodak Black following Nipsey Hussle apology, okay? T.I accepts Kodak Black's humble apology. The entire reason why we decided to adopt the word expeditiously in our vocabulary stems from the feud between T.I and Kodak Black, okay, which piggybacked off the comments that Black made about Nipsey Hussle and Lauren London following the rapper's death. Okay, y'all might remember all of that drama that was going on, but nonetheless, like I said, he apologized. Okay, Danger said Kodak knew better, okay? Durana said it's given just musty and sour, talking about Chelsea Handler, exactly. Okay. 44 Roddy said in 2020, all them actors said they barely bathed. Yeah, plenty of them did. What's his name? What's that guy's name? The one with the southern accent, Matthew McConaughey. Ooh, honey, I was shocked and appalled to hear that. I said, say what now? They said he be funky as all get out. Okay, Matthew McConaughey, y'all heard that? Ha! They said that he be funky as all get out, honey. If it's a lie, they told it. Don't get mad at me. Okay? Don't get mad at me, honey. Hold on here. Listen to this. I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention. When I looked it up, here's what it says. You know, Claudette said just nasty. Okay, here's what it says about Matthew, though, because I promise you, I didn't know this. So I looked it up just to see, and it says Matthew McConaughey does shower and practices good hygiene. Please. But he is famously anti-deodorant and anti-cologne, having not used either of them in 35 years. Okay? How the hell they say he practices good hygiene if this mofo said he hasn't used deodorant or cologne in 35 years? That's good hygiene? To who? Not to somebody that looks like me. That ain't no damn good hygiene. Now listen, it goes on to say, while co-star Kate Hudson, isn't that Goldie Hawn's daughter, if I'm correct, if memory serves me correct? I believe it is. She played in that movie, The Skeleton Key. It was very good. Anyway, while co-star Kate Hudson once noted she could smell him from a mile away. He insists he takes multiple showers a day and brushes his teeth, preferring his natural scent. Well, your natural scent smells like funky funk, okay? Because she said she could smell his arse from a mile away. Okay, and if you don't use deodorant, honey, you can take all the showers you want. All right. So she said, well, some like Kate Hudson found his scent strong on set. See, the people, I'm telling y'all, the people said he was funky. The people were saying he was straight up funky. All right. That's what the people said. The people on set said they could smell his strong scent, but they say others, like Yvette Nicole Brown, described his natural smell as granola and good living, not musty. Well, you know, she probably smelled him when he was fresh out of the shower, when he still had on the Irish Spring. But after a few hours, that Irish Spring, okay, clearly, his right guard clearly went left. Okay. Oh, that's right. He didn't have right guard because he doesn't use it. My bad. So anyway, so the rumor stemmed from his the rumor about him not taking showers, that is, stemmed from his public long-term commitment to not using chemical deodorants, not a complete lack of bathing, they say. They say he brushes his teeth 5 times a day too, by the way. Let me tell you something. Somebody play, Alexa, play Soul Funkified, okay, by Debret. Soul Funkified. Black Cougar said that Irish Spring sprung. Y'all are nefarious. Okay? Y'all are nefarious. Okay? LL said Irish Spring is old school, but it smells good. Yeah, it does smell good. I can't use it though. I can't use it. I can only use white bar soaps. That's why I make my own soap. But here's the thing. Now, even if he didn't want to wear deodorants because of chemicals, honey, you can make natural deodorant. Okay, I make it myself. Okay, hold on. They say 50 stood Chelsea up when she was waiting on him to go on vacation. He was a no-show. He probably was, but he still was dating her and laid up with her. Reggie says, yes, Brad Pitt too. His old roommate was also famous and said so. So Brad Pitt doesn't bathe? Hold on, let me look this up. This is all nefarious. Hold on. I know you lied, not Troy. Let me do my fact checking. Well, it's all true. It says Brad Pitt has not personally stated that he never showers, but his former roommate, Jason Priestley, revealed in 2024 that they used to hold contests to see who could go the longest without showering, a competition that Pitt consistently won. Child, who wants to take those kind of showers? I mean, who wants to play those kind of games? Play those kind of games. Are they serious? Are they serious? Anywho, I'm up out of here. Measure Man said Irish Spring dries his skin up. He needs glycerin. So this is all crazy. So everybody's just not taking showers or using soap and deodorant and washcloths. I'm sorry, but I could have sworn the Moors taught better. Okay, so anyway, I'm out of here, folks. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Listen, I gave you the latest updates to the best of my ability. I will be back in the morning, okay, with more of your updates. Deronda said Ice-T's wife only showers when she feels icky. What the hell is wrong with people? Are y'all serious? All these folks out here bragging that they don't bathe, they think that's a flex? Honey, I could never. But anyway, this is all nefarious. And Halle Berry did it for the Jungle Fever, says Reggie. Speaking of Halle Berry, let me tell y'all something. I found out about Halle Berry the other day. Let me tell y'all something, honey. I found out about Halle Berry the other day. So, who was it telling this story? Cameron the rapper. I want y'all to listen to this. Cameron told a story, honey, that I never knew. Okay. Cameron said that he went up into Cameron said that he went up to Halle Berry, okay, years ago. He saw, and this is before Cameron was famous, I think, but he said that he went up to Halle Berry. Yeah, he wasn't famous. Absolutely, he wasn't. Because he saw Halle Berry at the ATM and he was trying to talk to her, right? He wanted her to hear his music. And so she was trying to get the H on. And so he was like, she was trying to walk to the car or whatever. And he said, I was on her. And he said when he got to the car, there was somebody in the front seat with their seat reclined all the way back. And he didn't see who it was, but he was like, Halle, you gonna take this. And he put it through the window, like his CD or tape or whatever, right? And so then some years later, after he was, you know, famous or whatever, he was popping. He said he was somewhere and he saw Lorenz Tate. And Lorenz Tate told him, say, yeah, you remember that day you came up to Halle's car? He said, yeah, you didn't even know that was me reclining in the seat or something like that, laid back in the seat. The hell up. You mean to tell me Halle Berry had something going on with Lorenz Tate and nobody knew? Nobody knew. I thought that was interesting. You know, they both played in that movie, Why the Fools Fall in Love. And I'll tell y'all another secret. The Queen went to the movie. I went to that movie with one of the stars of that movie. And I'm not going to say who it is. But at the end of the day, I went to that movie with the stars, one of the stars of that movie. And when we pulled up to the dry cleaners for him to get his clothing, and these ladies pulled up and they were like, hey, trying to get my attention. They were like, is that so-and-so? And I was like, yeah, that's him. I want y'all to pay attention, but that's enough said. Okay, Black Cougar says, thanks, Queen. We needed a little comic relief after all the heavy news cycle. I know, right? I know. Absolutely. Gerarda said, Lorenz Tate is fine as wine. Okay, he looks good for his age too. And I don't even know how old he is, but I know that he's got to be almost 50 because he played in Menace to Society. Okay. Ha! Christopher said the Queen has all kinds of connections. Yes, I do. El said, tell us, please. I'm not going to tell y'all, but they also played in Menace to Society. I'll tell y'all that much. They also played in Menace to Society. Okay. Anywho, with that all being said, let me start telling y'all little nosy selves my business. I already told y'all I got locked up in Cobb County, okay, because the cop lied on me, and I got released that same day, thank God, and didn't even have to bail out. But the charges got dismissed, okay? What else do y'all need to know? Mind your business, okay? So anyway, Black Cougar, thank you for your insight into the topic, your kind words, and your contribution to the Queen's channel. I appreciate you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Trisha said it wasn't Lorenz, was it, Queen? Oh, damn. He did play in both of those too. No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Okay, it wasn't him. All right. But, oh my God, Desmond is trying to put me on blast. Desmond just said, Queen, my pinky hurts. He's trying to give y'all a clue. Desmond, you are so low down and dirty. I'm not telling you anything else. Okay, I'm not telling you anything else. He literally, Desmond, did I tell you that? How do you even know that? I had to have told you that at some point. Low down, dirty dog. Let me get up out of here. Desmond putting all my business out here in the YouTube streets. Okay? Putting all my business out here in the YouTube streets. Well, I will say this person has done interviews talking about how they don't engage in these things that go on in the industry and all of the nefariousness, and they have continuously spoken against those things. Okay? Judah Queen said the Queen is having unsolved mysteries. All right. And so anyway, I love you all to life. I'm about to be out of here. I will see you all in the morning. Until then, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Till next time, peace.
him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got